we would like to discuss The Dark Knight in terms of its genre. We will analyze the film from the perspective of a crime film. The film's director, Christopher Nolan, seeks to create a hero whose previous films were initially light, in which he excelled in the element of comedy, fantasy, and much less that of action, adventure, but also mystery, transforming him into a dark figure who seeks justice in a world full of chaos. To achieve this, he will have to build a world around the protagonist that is particularly realistic and dark, in which crime, corruption, and anarchy will prevail. The two main pillars of the film, namely The Dark Knight and the Joker, are written with several common elements, but each having a different direction, as both serve their own purposes and their own benefits throughout the project. In addition, there is a very strong element of contrast between the Dark Knight and the Joker, who symbolize the internal battle between good and evil, order and chaos, which appears frequently in crime films. According to McGowan, on several occasions the Joker welcomes his own death as part of his effort to unleash chaos, and Batman endures not only the physical pain that stems from his fight against justice, but also the absence of any recognition from what he does. Additionally, between 1.25.00 to 1.31.00, the film features an interrogation scene in which the Dark Knight questions the Joker to discover the locations of Rachel and Harvey Dent. This is a common convention within the crime thriller genre. There are also scenes of the Joker being chased by either the police or the Dark Knight, which they have intense action elements and quick editing so that the viewer can film the rapid changes of the scenes and experience the action to the fullest extent possible. Additionally, with the use of dark lighting, the viewer perceives that the film takes place in a highly realistic and rotten world full of crime, insecurity, and fear. Furthermore, the film raises the question that justice can be categorized as legal or illegal. This is evident in the second scene of the film, where there is a disguised Batman fighting crime. Additionally, there is a scene where the Joker kills one such person in order to pressure Batman to appear himself and confront him. In police thrillers, murders are committed in order for the criminal to provoke or provide evidence to the detective about his crimes. This is another element that proves that the film belongs to this category. At the end of the film, the dramatic element is intense, as no atonement comes and the protagonist is not redeemed. According to the site Screen Rant, the roles of the protagonists of the films A Clockwork Orange and The Crow contributed to the creation of the role of the Joker. The casting of Heath Ledger as the Joker was made when Nolan saw the movie Brokeback Mountain, while Harvey Dent's role was given to Aaron Eckhart when Nolan saw the movie Thank You for Smoking.
The film is also influenced by the film King Kong 1933, as seen in the final scene where the Joker falls from a skyscraper. It's also influenced by the 1995 film Heat, as seen in the first scene of the film where the robbery takes place. The film's realism and the elements that make it a crime film were inspired by films such as Black Sunday 1977, mainly for the film's tension. Moreover, it's obvious that Chinatown 1974 has had a huge influence. Gotham, it's not just a city, it's a broken system where corruption is institutionalized and crime finds the perfect conditions to thrive. David Fincher's Seven 1995 is also a clear influence from which the dark underworld draws its slow, fast and nervous action scenes and overall atmosphere of the film. At the same time, Batman assumes throughout the work not only the role of the Punisher and protector of Gotham, but also as a detective. As we can see in the clip, the city's building and the architecture design are clearly inspired by Fritz Lang's Metropolis 1927, adopting its monumental and imposing character and portrayed a city that reinforces a sense of alienation and social inequality.
The film has also influenced a series of other films, such as Man of Steel 2013, X-Men First Class 2011, Rise of the Planet of the Apes 2011, Godzilla 2014, Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice 2016, Captain America the Winter Soldier 2014, and The Black Panther 2018. All of these films belong to the superhero genre. However, due to the influence of The Dark Knight, they incorporate strong elements of realism and intense action sequences. Moreover, the films Godzilla 2014 and Terminator Genesis 2015, although they belong to the science fiction genre, these films provide a strong narrative foundation and add scientific depth to the human characters. Last but not least, Skyfall 2012 presents a more human and realistic James Bond, who is no longer portrayed as invulnerable and is depicted with a more developed and emotionally rich inner world compared to previous versions of the character. Thank you so much for watching our video. We hope you liked how we analyzed the film. Special thanks to our teacher Mr. Ayea for everything, and here are the links we used.